Greetings, welcome to a News of the Day video. Very likely this could be the last News of the Day video until we're in California. And then the News of the Day video won't involve me standing in front of a whiteboard, because probably not anyways. But we'll start off with the Flames. Pierre LeBrun reporting that Tyler Toffoli is on their list. And then the rest of the article states that everybody's on the Flames list potentially as they look for a top six forward. They do need that. I think they need a lot of help with Calgary right now. I think to get back to where they were last year, it's going to require a lot of work. And we'll see whether or not adding a guy like Toffoli would make a huge difference or not for Calgary. I'm kind of on the fence right now. I think there's more to it than just adding one guy. I think there's definitely something going on with the core of that team where they've underachieved as a group, and that needs to be looked at as well. Chris Kreider will be replacing Artemi Panarin in the All-Star game. So Panarin's going to be out. Kreider's in. And it's another one bites the dust. And of course, because Panarin missed the game before the All-Star break, he doesn't have to miss the game after the All-Star break. So, keeping that in mind, it's probably one of those nagging things where he's like, this isn't that bad, but it's, I don't really want to go. And they're like, just take tonight off. You don't have to go to the All-Star game. That qualifies as your one game missed. You're fine. So, another player backs out. And then we move on to the less fun stuff today. And I saw this yesterday and I thought, all right, well, it is newsworthy. So Brandon Manning, who has been highly unpopular at times, he's been suspended 5 games by the American Hockey League for a racial slur that he threw at one of his opposing players, Bakanji Imama, playing for, I believe it's the Ontario Reign. And so he threw that out there. He got an immediate game misconduct for what he said. He apologized as well after. Apparently he approached Imama after the game and apologized. And Imama took it well because it's likely not the first time he's had that thrown at him. So, this opens an interesting scenario that we don't want to have to talk about. It's the new year. I was hoping we wouldn't go through this again. I was thinking, we left it all behind. 2019 left it all behind. So he came out and he apologized. It's 5 games. But I'm seeing calls on Twitter mostly that, he should have been banned for life. No. Isn't there an in-between? Isn't there somewhere where we can go, all right, they've paid enough of a price for saying something stupid on the ice? We really have to ban players for life for this kind of, and I get it. I do. I'm not forgiving anything here. But, yeah, I don't know. I think it's a tough situation. I do think that the Oilers move on from Manning after this year. He's playing in the minors. He's making a lot of money for playing in the minors. I'm pretty sure it's a one-way contract, meaning he gets his NHL salary in the American League. They can take this and say it's violating a code of conduct. They could use this as a reason to get out of his contract. I don't know that they necessarily do, but yeah, it's one of those things that I don't think it would have mattered what the AHL did. If the AHL had come out and said it's 20 games, you would have seen people going, 20 games for that? Are you ridiculous? And then you still would have seen people saying, you're still cowards, kick them out of the game. So it's not how it works. And we're in that time now where, you said something, that's it, done. I'm not forgiving it, and I'm not excusing it. It's just there has to be some kind of a middle ground where there's a punishment, and then when you're done with the punishment, you can still, live. And that's important, too. I think the fact that he approached the player after the game and apologized means something, and I think the fact that he did come out and issue a statement after means something. And if people want to say, well, he was just covering for himself. Okay, but we don't know his mind. We don't know why he would do such a thing, so to make assumptions is dangerous. We go down that rabbit hole, boy, I tell you. But we've been down that rabbit hole for a while now, and it is getting kind of toxic, where certain things, and I've seen it not just in hockey, but just in general, where it's like, wait, they're like last month. It was last month, wasn't it, that people were coming down on Billie Eilish because she couldn't name a member of Van Halen? You know who else can't name a member of Van Halen? My wife. You know why? She doesn't care. She doesn't like Van Halen. She never did. I can name members of Van Halen, not all of them. I just found that so weird. And people were like, hey, she doesn't even know Van Halen. I'm thinking, why would she know Van Halen? She's 17 and she plays mostly pop music. I can't believe this. This is so offensive. Boy, howdy. All right, let's move along to something a little less offensive, which is fighting at practice. And yeah, we're talking about practice. It's really not a big deal, and yet it's on all the news media that Jonathan Toews had a fight with Keith. Not a fight? Come on. It's not like they fought their way into the stands and they're still fighting. It's not like Peter Griffin and the chicken. This isn't what we're looking at here. We're looking at just two guys frustrated with one another at practice. I remember playing floor hockey in high school. There was a friend of mine and myself that we would every now and then we'd tangle. And it would just be one of those that he was cross-checking me in the back, or maybe I slashed him a couple times, and one would tell the other. Either I would tell him or he'd tell me, knock it off. And eventually it was, all right, we're going to go. And people around us would be, they're just kidding. Holy crap, they're not kidding. And then people would be pulling us apart. It happens. You know, it's nature of, it's a physical game, so it's going to happen. Taves downplayed it after, and my response to that was, well, yeah, it's not really all that. So I'm not putting this in the headline because it's really not that big a deal. 4-game goal streak going on for Evgeny Dadonov. 6-game point streak going into the All-Star break. Pretty good for him. He's actually had a pretty good season overall. And it gets overshadowed because we talk about Huberdeau, we talk about Barkov, and to some extent Hoffman. Hoffman's on a 10-game point streak. There are a lot of guys playing very, very well for Florida right now and have been the whole season. The difference is the defense and the goaltending have started to catch up. So watch for Florida after the All-Star break. I know it's easy to say that when a team's on a winning streak like they are. I'm just saying I don't think they're done. I don't think this little winning streak is necessarily the end of it. I think that Bobrovsky's starting to round into his form, and he normally does. Second half of the year, he's normally pretty good. So I think Florida's one to watch. Who knows? They're what, 9 points back of Boston? Watch for that. Barzal last night got benched, and there were Islander fans that weren't happy about him being benched in the third period. I think he played 40 seconds. When asked afterwards, Barry Trotz says he knows why he was benched. You know what? He does. And it's part of playing hockey. Being benched is not necessarily a big deal. They won the game. It's break time. And Barzal, who's still young and still learning, likely made a play that Barry Trotz felt was kind of selfish. And it may have been one of those things where he talked to him during the game, or maybe he talked to him in between periods and said, all right, I noticed you're tending to do this today. Don't do this. This is going to cost us. And then he did it again. So he went over and said, all right, you're done for the night. That's it. It's not really a big deal. And it's not going to carry over. It's not going to turn into, oh, he's demanding a trade and all that stuff. It's just not how it works. Coaches are just hard on players sometimes. It's just how it works. Lots of players get benched. It's part of hockey, and I'm sure Barzal will be just fine. He'll be okay. Seattle. Let's discuss a little bit about Seattle. The Seattle expansion team that starts next year. So we're there, 2021. They will start playing hockey. And in between now and then, they have to build an arena. So they tore it all apart. They dug everything down. They still have some excavation to do, but they're kind of done with the demolition part, and now the construction starts. They had to dig 50 feet down, so that's a lot of dirt to get out of there. And they're planning on having the foundation set, concrete poured, glass, windows, all this stuff, and the doors, all that stuff done by the end of 2020, and then the rest of the innards he got put together in 2021. So they're still on target for their time of getting things done, and it's a $950 million project. It's an expensive project. Going to be worth it though. Team in Seattle is going to be a lot of fun, and the fact that they're on time means it's good. The fact that it won't be poured, they won't have the foundations and just the basics set up till the end of 2020 tells me the NHL was right to delay their team from debuting until 2021. I cannot imagine the nightmare it would have been if they didn't have their arena ready and they have a team, and then here you guys are okay, we're going to put you in an arena that's not big enough for NHL hockey. We went through that with San Jose when they committed the league. I think in retrospect, the NHL Might have held off on San Jose for an extra year to make sure that they had an arena ready that was, NHL level. But yeah, Seattle, a year and a half from now, we'll be talking about the Seattle. People ask about team name. They may name the team this weekend. It's supposed to be around the All-Star break. The team name, though, may very well be delayed further. I know there are a number of team names they're considering. They haven't even stated whether or not the team names that they put out there are the only ones in there, which tells me they're not. There may be a team name we don't even know about that ownership might have looked at and said, you know what, this one works best. So they're doing their best to consult the public on this. And I would imagine that will continue all the way through. It was one thing Vegas, I thought, missed out on, was not consulting the public a whole lot about what to call the team and all the colors. And they got it pretty well done as it is. Although I still think when you can involve the public and you have sort of a naming thing, they wouldn't have been the Vegas McVegas faces. That's not a thing. And Seattle won't be the Seattle McSeattle faces either. Or Seattle McGrunge faces. Like Vegas McGambling faces. I could do this for a while. But still, just imagine the logo for the McGambling faces. How do you have a face of gambling? All right. Go to Vegas. You will see faces of gambling. They're normally because you realize you lost all your money. Okay. So on from expansion. One last note here. Jeff Blashill is basically thrown out there to the media that he thinks Anthony Mantha is about a month away from returning. Now, with the record that Detroit has, there honestly isn't any rush. You've got to make sure he's 100%, and if he's not, there's no rush. Like I said in the preview video this morning, if you double their points, they're still not in the playoffs. So, yeah, Detroit, there's no rush to get Mantha back. Make sure you're healthy. Come back maybe, I don't know, October. For Detroit, the real test is going to be coming out of this rebuild. So I would think at the draft in June, that's when the pressure starts for Yzerman. Like, all right, now we've got to start seeing some positive results. A draft lottery win would go a long way to ensuring that the fan base gets really happy really quick. If they get Alexis Lafreniere out of this year's draft, I think they'd be quite happy. That being said, I do trust Yzerman, and I do think he'll do quite well. But that still remains to be seen. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below regarding any of these topics. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.